Okay, I kind of realized yesterday that we should spend a little bit more time preparing for the lab, for this penny lab that we will do. We'll do it now tomorrow. Today what I want to do is use a tool for Google Chrome that is very helpful when you're reading or writing or taking notes, and it's called Read and Write. And so the first thing that we'll do to use that tool is let's open up a new tab, and in Google go ahead and write Read and Write. Then you should have a result come up here, that Read and Write for Google Chrome, Chrome Web Store. Go ahead and click that link. What it will do is it will take you into the web store, and you can now add this extension to Chrome. Mine says added to Chrome because I already added it. Yours can say add to Chrome. Once you've done that, it may ask you to say yes, allow. Just allow it, okay? And then once that's in, you can go ahead and close that tab. So now we can use that tool by scrolling down our assignment stream to the assignment called Radioactive Decay Lab. Go ahead and open that assignment. When you're in there, it will load as your files this radioactive lab, right? I want you to open up that document, and you should be looking at a document that looks like this. This is the lab write-up that we'll use tomorrow. Today what I'd like for us to do is practice using this new tool, this Read and Write tool, and also to identify some terms we need a little bit of clarity around. So let me just talk to you about how this tool works. First of all, one of the neat things about it is it has this read aloud feature. See this play button? And what you can do is you can click in front of the writing that you want it to read aloud. Like, so I'll click in front of the problem statement. You can click this play, and we'll see if you can hear it from your end.
Problem statement. The purpose of this experiment is to determine how scientists use the number of half-lives to identify the age of a sample.
Now I press stop here, the square. The nice thing about that is if you have any questions around how to pronounce a word, that's a very useful tool. You can just click right in front of that word. Like, let's say, I don't know this word, Lincolnium. I don't know what that means. So I can hear how they pronounce it.
Place all of the Lincolnium back into the paper.
And sometimes that can be really helpful. We won't go through all the tools here today, but we'll just go through a few. What I'd like for you to do is, and I've put this in your header here, is I'd like for you to highlight 3 pieces of vocabulary or main ideas and add a comment to each with a definition or a description. And what I mean by that is I want you to scroll through this write-up, and it can be anywhere in the procedure, it can be down in the conclusion. I want you to identify and highlight 3 pieces of vocabulary that you think are either really important or you don't quite understand, or both. And so to do that, you'll scroll through, and when you find one, let's do parent material down here. I'll highlight it with my cursor, and then I'll go up here to the tool, and I'll do that in yellow. Now let's do 3 terms in yellow. Radiometric dating is a good one too. Yellow. Radioactive decay is a good one. Yellow. I'll come back to these in a minute. Now the other part was highlight 2 to 3 procedural questions. So what that means is basically highlight any confusion you have around how tomorrow's lab will go. So like look through the procedure, and for instance you might have a question here. You could highlight this in blue. Like maybe you don't know quite how you'll fill this out. You'll highlight it in blue, and I want at least one more. So let's look through here. So Lincolnium, I could maybe highlight these in blue too. Maybe I don't understand quite what that means. So now what I want you to do is for the 3 pieces of vocabulary, add a comment to each with a definition or a description. So I'll go back to my yellow highlights here, and I'll click it, and I can add a comment once I've been able to find that description. So I can say parent material is, and you'll complete that with the information that you found. Now, a really cool tool with this Read and Write add-on is I can click this highlight and I can go to Fact Finder, and it will take me to Google. Yeah, that one's not very. Let's go radiometric dating. Let's see if that's helpful. Fact Finder. So now it takes me to information about radiometric dating. So again, that one is where you highlight the word you want to look up, and you'll click this magnifying glass with the globe, this Fact Finder. Okay, that can be a helpful way to do research. But what I'd like for you to do is, again, highlight 3 pieces of vocabulary in yellow, add a comment to each of them with a definition or a description, find 2 to 3 procedural questions, so like things that you don't understand about how the lab will go, highlight those in blue, and add a comment to each of those with a description. The goal is for, at the end of today, to have clarified the tricky vocabulary and any confusions around how the lab will happen tomorrow. Okay? Once you've finished with that, you can go ahead and close this document and go back to Radioactive Decay Lab and complete all of these educannons. Okay? If you finish and there's still time, you can move on to one of the other assignments that we're working on. Okay? Good luck.